We often discuss reasons why people do things. We discuss issues such as narcissism, borderline personality disorder, evil, abuse, manipulation, all kinds of pathologies, behavioral pathologies that take place in interpersonal relationships and in group dynamics. But all of these discussions have a side to them that is philosophically naive. They assume that people choose what to do, that they are autonomous in deciding how to behave, or that their personal histories, their frustrations, their early relationships, their traumas have somehow uniquely shaped their sensibilities and their characters and made them into what they are and predisposed them to act and decide in the way in which they do. A more philosophical view on this would be that there are deeper metaphysical realities behind what we are and what we do. That the stuff that we are made of, the characters that are basically patterns of behavior and decision-making that predetermine what we will do and how we will react to certain stimuli, that all of these characters and all of these patterns are really haphazard aggregations of energy, of will, of force, of whatever the stuff of reality is, and that in reality we have very little control over who we are, who we become, and what we desire and what we lack, and how we address that lack and how we pursue that desire. In other words, the way we behave and the way we relate to the others. Now, one of the problems in this naive understanding of behavior is that we constantly seem to be running in circles trying to explain the causality, the causal relationships that we hope might explain and might make sense of the seemingly illogical things that people do to one another. We constantly try to explain the decisions people make by reference to whatever speculatively determined reasons they may have had to act that way, by reference to their personal histories, to their collective histories, to their conflicts, to their unresolved internal contradictions. We speculate and speculate and speculate about what might be the reasons for the behaviors and for the decisions that trouble us. Whereas in fact there are no reasons. There is what the ancient peoples used to overwhelmingly ascribe to fate. There's some kind of predetermination that we could call destiny that fundamentally causes us to act the way we do and causes us to desire what we desire. Several different people will develop several different characters within the same social conditions, within the same conditions of growing up and becoming grown-up persons, becoming fully fledged personalities. They will be very different, even though they might have grown up in the same family. The person's character is something more and reaches something more than what we can rationally explain, and reaches far further than the evidence that we might be able to gather to try to support any idea and any supposition about why people act the way they do. So we should simply take people at face value. We should take characters at face value, and we should try to consider the purpose these characters serve. All of us can be seen, can be interpreted as actors. Actors on the scene of life. And rather than wondering why we do things we do, we might wonder which master we are serving, and what purpose we are serving, what role we are playing, and what is the place of that role within the general scenario of life. And perhaps that kind of vista, that kind of way of thinking and understanding reality might offer us at once a more tolerant and a more effective way of addressing others and our relationships with others, rather than trying to change the others or understand the reasons the others are the way they are. We might try to understand the general roles they play in a broader scenario of our lives. And that might help us make more fundamental decisions about shifting the modal worlds, the modalities, the actual facts of our lives, so that some of the people and some of the roles and some of the influences and some of the events and some of the currents of our lives that we are exposed to at the moment may no longer be able to reach us, whereas some other currents and people and events and influences will come in contact with us. We can change, we can call into reality a different context and a different set of circumstances. We can change fundamental things in our lives, the place we live, the work we do, the social circle we reside within, in order to shift the structure of those roles, to shift the scenario of our lives, rather than focusing on trying to determine the imagined causality of why individual people act the way they do and why our specific peculiar relationships unfold the way they do.